to say, welcome to my hometown. As a matter of fact, welcome to my backyard. This is where we grew up, right here. This is on the other side of the fence. My roots run deep in Vermont. Our family has been here for 6 generations. And I can honestly say, as someone, as a pilot and as your lieutenant governor who's traveled all over the world, there's no place in the world that I would rather live or raise a family than right here in the state of Vermont. Probably like a lot of you, my family came from Ireland and France, and they were seeking a better life. And these immigrants, most of them were Democrats. And a lot of them still are Democrats. But they support me. And I'm grateful for their support. And I can see some Democrats out there. We'll take your support too. I'm running for governor because I love the state of Vermont. And I love the people of the state of Vermont. In my job as a pilot, and as your lieutenant governor, as I've said, been all over the world, and Penny and I made the right decision when we decided to raise our family right here in Essex. And for those same reasons, I decided to run for the school board, because I wanted my kids to have a great education. And with the support of Penny, who was a teacher, and my desire to give back to my community, and my dedication to education, I decided to run for the school board. I'm running for governor to bring the people of our state together, to build our economy, to make Vermont an even better place to raise a family, earn a living, invest in the future, and start a small business. Enjoy a safe and secure retirement. I'm running for governor for the same reasons I ran for the school board. In many ways, I'm still running as a parent, because I want every child in Vermont to receive a great education, to grow up and find a satisfying, well-paying job, to have a loving family, to experience economic freedom, and with the belief that with hard work, anything is possible. My mother always encouraged me to be a good listener, and it served me well as a husband. It served me well on the school board, and it served me well as your lieutenant governor, because I believe the best ideas come from Vermonters where they live and where they work. Listening very carefully is the first step to solving problems. My campaign is about uniting Vermonters to come up with shared solutions. I'm running for governor to help grow jobs for Vermonters. I'm running for governor to create a better way of life for those who are struggling just to get by. I'm running for governor to inspire hope in our young people and hope in those who've lost hope. All Vermonters would agree with me that the best social program is a good job. And only with a strong economy and good paying jobs can we pay for the services that we value as a state. A great education for our children, a clean environment, safe and well-maintained roads and bridges, and caring support for our seniors and our most vulnerable. But we have work to do. Forbes Business Magazine ranks the 50 states from best to worst in terms of business friendliness. And when the legislature overrode our governor's veto, imposed their own budget for the first time in the history of our state, and raised taxes in a recession, people were watching. Forbes Business Magazine moved our ranking from 36th in the country to 47th in the country. I picked up the phone and I called the editor of Forbes and I said, what are you doing to my state? And more importantly, what can we do to move in a different direction? And the editor of Forbes said, Brian, it's really simple. Your taxes are too high and your regulatory environment is too complex. And I would suggest to you, if you want to move in a positive direction, you work in these areas. I've had the privilege as your lieutenant governor over the spring to conduct a jobs tour. Went all over this state. Met with small businesses from Bennington to Canaan to St. Albans and Swanton, all through our state. And in many of those conversations, I heard the same sentiments expressed by small business owners. I met with a woman by the name of Joanne in Bennington, Vermont. If you've had Vermont mozzarella cheese, you've had the cheese that Joanne and Michael make in Vermont mozzarella in Bennington. And I said, Joanne, I asked her a very simple question. What can we do at the state to help you grow jobs? And Joanne said, Brian, if my taxes were lower, I could hire more Vermonters, I could buy more Vermont milk, I could sell more, I could make more cheese and sell it to people who want to buy my cheese. And she said, Brian, Vermont taxes are costing us jobs. I went to Rutland. I met with a third-generation small business owner. I asked the same question. And he said, Brian, when the legislature overrode our governor's veto, imposed their own budget, raised my taxes, it hurt my business in Rutland. I went to Burlington, met with a small business, a restaurant owner by the name of Al. Same question. And Al said, we love Al, that's right. I asked the same question. He said, you know what, Brian, he was a little angry, had some energy, and he said, you know what, Brian, politicians are always talking about jobs, 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 and they go to Montpelier and they raise my taxes. In this economy, my revenues are staying the same, my property taxes have tripled, I can't think about expanding, I can only think about surviving. I'm running for governor to say 47th in the country is not good enough. I'm running for governor to say to a small business owner like Al and other small business owners that we want you to think about expanding and not just surviving. A leader must be able to identify a problem. Burying your head in the sand and ignoring the problem is not leadership. Saying that we don't want to talk about high taxes because it's bad for our image is not leadership. I strongly believe that life presents opportunities. We have the opportunities to cut taxes, to cut red tape, to strengthen working families. We must right-size state government and our programs, and Vermonters have a generous heart, but they're limited by the size of their pocketbooks. As a governor, and Charlie said, I have been a champion for Vermont workers all over the world. It's been my privilege as a lieutenant governor to promote their products and services literally all over the world. As you might know, as Charlie referenced, I've led 2 trade delegations to Cuba. We arranged to sell $6 million worth of milk and 100 heifers, and we advocated for human rights and social justice like no other state has ever done. Back that up. And at a large formal banquet, the 3rd night we're there in Cuba, I sat next to the Vice President of Cuba at the head table, and the Vice President turned to me and he said, Lieutenant Governor Dubie, why are you my country? I says, I'll tell you why. In 1996, your country shot down 2 civilian aircraft in the Brothers of the Rescue incident. I said, I was sitting in a Vermont Guard F-16 at Langley Air Force, Virginia, with 2 live missiles and a live gun with orders to come shoot those MiGs down. I said, I sat in my jet for 10 hours on 1-minute scramble status, and I got right in his face and I said, I didn't get a chance to come that night. But now, I said, now I'm Lieutenant Governor, I'm glad to be here. And the Vice President leaned back and thought for a minute and stroked his chin. He said, in 1962, I was an anti-aircraft gunner. I prayed to God. Every day, someone like you would come in my gun section and I'd shoot you down. And there was 15 Cuban kids sitting on a stage at that moment. And they were singing a song, and they sounded like angels. And I reached for my glass, and I raised my glass, and I said, Francisco, I propose a toast that you and I dedicate our service for making a better future for those children and the children of my country. And fellow Vermonters, I'm running for governor to make a better future for the children of the state of Vermont.